Hey everyone, my name is Derek, and today's webinar is going to cover all things lead generation. We're going to be walking you through our point-and-click direct mail system, our skip tracing functionality, as well as the opt-in forms that you can use on various websites to capture potential leads into your system. All of these are going to be available to you under the Marketing tab on the left-hand side of your navigation. Direct mail is going to be the first up. We're going to walk you through that wizard, but as we know, everything kind of starts at the data, so we're going to dive into lead pipes and start it from there. One thing that I did want to note before we moved on is our direct mail also has an additional feature that we like to call our personally penned letters. The difference between our standard direct mail offering and our personally penned offers is that the personally penned handwrites the envelopes. So if you're looking for that level of personalization, the personally penned option is for you. Our standard direct mail option does offer personally penned letters, but again, the envelopes is where the personally penned option would come into play. So let's go ahead and let's dive into direct mail first. From our dashboard here, we can see all of these campaigns that we have created, whether that's drafts that have gone out, whether it's campaigns that we've sent out and already started to receive some feedback. You're going to see the source that you got them, whether that's the lead pipe system that's internal on your contacts, or if you've uploaded your own. You'll also see the audience that we've targeted in them as well. Moving along the navigation here, we have the ability to add tracking numbers to the system. It's very simple. The wizard takes you through 3 simple steps. First, select the area code and local number that you'd like. Number 2, attach that tracking number to a specific direct mail campaign. And the third and final one is start forwarding calls and texts to your own number and track campaign performance. Some users like to have specific numbers for each direct mail sequence that they do. Others will purchase one and lump them all under the same umbrella, direct mail. One of the nice things about this and our ability to differentiate text versus calls is that you can use that data in follow-up campaigns. So if you see that a lot of people are responding to your text messages, consider doing an outbound SMS campaign. If you're getting a lot of phone calls, we can continue doing our direct mail. Maybe we integrate a cold calling campaign as well. We're all about giving you as much data as possible so that you can make the best decisions about how to reach your target audience. If you need a new number, simply select it from the top right-hand corner or in the wizard below. Let's go back to our campaign screen. Now we have a number of options for how we can pull in the leads that we'll use for our direct mail campaign. Let's select Create Campaign. First, we have the ability to pull leads from our contacts, the CRM section of the Leadflow application. Now, these can be sorted by your entire contact list, specific contacts that you choose, or sorted and filtered by tags that you apply to various lists. We also have the ability to upload your own list, which is something that you can do to bring more contacts into the Leadflow system to utilize all of our automation features. Last but not least, we have the ability to find new property leads, which is how I'm going to start this demonstration. This is going to take us to our lead pipes dashboard, and if you've done any of my trainings in the past, you know that once we get to the lead pipes dashboard, the very first thing that I like to do is enter the zip code that we're going to start with. That way we can dive right in just with our area, and then we can start applying additional filters from there. The first thing I want to do is make sure my leads are cleaned out, and I did have a question earlier. If I do a search and leave the My Leads in that section, am I able to continually add to that list, or do I have to start fresh each time? And the answer to that is you can continually add to that lead bucket as much as you'd like and make actions on that full list. Or if you want to keep it segmented, you can do that as well. So before we get going, I'm going to go ahead and remove these leads so that I'm starting fresh. Okay, so for the sake of our discussion, because we want to get into the direct mail engine, I'm going to go ahead and whittle down this list to a very actionable amount of people. So right now we're looking at this particular area zip code. I'm going to go ahead and select absentee owners. I want to look at individual property owners of single family homes. Let's see where that gets us to. So that significantly dropped the number down, but I'd like to go a little bit lower for the purpose of this demonstration. So I'm going to marry absentee owners with vacant properties. That brought us down to just a handful of properties, so that's going to be a good amount for us to work with. When we have the list that we want to move into our direct mail engine, all we have to do is select from this dropdown right here, either the first page or the entire list. The first page can hold up to 25 addresses, so in this situation, we're under the limit there, so I'm going to go ahead and just select all of them. That new set of leads is now added to the My Leads section in the top right corner. This is where we can take action on everything that we have. First, we have our direct mail tool right here. That's where I'm going to go ahead and dive right in. First things first, we're going to remove any duplicates. So we have 21 different recipients on this list. They're based on the property, not the recipient. So if 5 of the properties are owned by the same person, we don't want to send that person 5 mailers. And it's also going to annoy the end user because they're getting multiple pieces of the same message. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those duplicates. The system is going to automatically move those leads into our direct mail wizard. And in just a matter of clicks, we can set up to a 5-month drip sequence that is going to constantly promote your brand to these recipients. Also, you'll notice in the bottom left-hand corner are campaign details. This is going to dynamically update as we go through the wizard to give you an exact answer as to how many mailers you're sending, how many people you're touching with those mailers, and how much it's going to cost you at the end of the campaign. Let's get started. I'm going to name it the zip code that I used. All right. Now, how many direct mail pieces should each homeowner receive? I'm going to go with 2. And the frequency I'm going to go with is once a month. So for the next 2 months, they're going to get 1 mailer a month. You'll see in the bottom left-hand corner, our 21 recipients are going to get a total of 42 pieces in totality because of 2 campaign touches. That updated our price just a little bit based on the doubling of the amount. On the next page, we have the ability to put our return address as well as contact information. The reason that the contact information is different from the mailer return address is if you have any appointment setters or closers or salespeople that you want handling that intake, you can make that differentiation on the contact information below. I'm going to go ahead and load this information. And mind you, once you enter it once, it's going to pre-populate moving forward. There's our name. And everything will populate in. I'm going to go ahead and pull that contact name down. Website is optional. And your contact name as well. So again, you can add any information that you'd like there. So if you have a landing page or a squeeze page that you'd like to copy, drive people to, pardon me, you can enter that there. You also have the ability to mail a copy of each mailer to yourself. That way you can see what it looks like out in the wild if you were one of your recipients, and you'll also have a better understanding of when they're getting to customers in your specific area. Again, we have the ability to add a tracking number. If you have an existing tracking number within the system, you can select it by the second option here. I'm going to go ahead and just use my own phone number. And hit next. Now, one of the great things about working with a company that has sent millions of direct mail pieces for 15 years is that we know what converts. And we've made a conscious effort to pare back our direct mail offerings to only focus on those pieces that drive results. We've even made it easy for you by breaking all of these direct mail creatives into their own particular categories. Right now, I'm going to go with our general campaign. And if you recall, we're doing 2 mailers, mailer 1 and mailer 2. We're going to select the size of the creative for each of them right here. For this first one, I'm going to go with the 6x9 postcard. And I really like this yellow Sharpie. I think it's eye-catching and it's very straight to the point. Now, if you have a direct mail piece that you've used and has worked well for your business, we do not want to stop you from utilizing that with your Leadflow data. All you have to do is upload your own. We provide a template that's super easy to conform to because it essentially works with the U.S. Postal Service's specifications for return address and mailing postage spots. For our second one, I want to get a little bit more professional and show them that I mean business. If I wasn't able to get a response from the first mailer, I'm going to go with our 8.5 by 11 letter. Now, what I mentioned when we were going through the personally penned section was we do offer the handwritten letters. If you want the handwritten envelopes, that's where our personally penned option comes into play. I'm going to go ahead and use this general seller one. I like the houses along the bottom, and it's super clean. All right, on this next page, we're simply previewing the front and back of the postcard, and of course, since this one's a letter, we only have the front side. You can also see when we're going to start delivering your mailers. It takes roughly 5 to 7 days from you pressing go to mailers being put in mailboxes. We have a very seamless turnaround with our printing division. That means when you hit go, your orders go directly to our print house. There's no batching, so in other situations, you may have a mailer when you submit your order on a Thursday. It doesn't even get to the printer until the following Monday. That's not the case. We are seamlessly integrated to make sure that your marketing messages get out as fast as possible. All we have to do now is finish and review. You'll notice that our campaign details has updated. So we have 21 total recipients receiving 2 touches for a total of 42 pieces. First class postage is always included for a total of $31. The one thing that we want to make sure is that you check it twice for the reason that I just mentioned about our seamless integration with our print house. We send your order over immediately, so it's very difficult for our team to get that order back once it goes to print. Let's make sure that all of our information is exactly what we need it to be. We have our return information as well as our contact information. Here's our 2 touches with an estimated delivery that is within 7 days of the order and 1 month following this initial touch. We have the sizes as well as the pieces, the price per piece, and our total spend. All we have to do is select this box right here, hit submit order, and this campaign is out the door. In the matter of a few minutes, I was able to set up a multi-touch campaign to highly targeted leads, all within the Leadflow system. And that's not all. We're also going to go back and we're going to show you how we can take that same list of data and we're going to use it to skip trace it, append the most relevant phone numbers, and use that in potential SMS outbound text messaging campaigns or any sort of cold calling campaigns that you, your team, or an outside agency is going to do on behalf of your business. So first, what we want to do is I'm going to come back here and show you exactly where this mailer is going to be once it's sent out. We can come back to our direct mail system. On this general page here, you can already see the test that I just submitted with our 21 recipients. Once a campaign has gone out, you will be able to see all the details of every address that comes in. Let's say you get a response from one of your first mailers. We sent out 21. Let's say we get 6 responses. We don't want to send another postcard to those 6 people who have already engaged. It's extremely easy for you to go into that specific order and remove those people. There's literally a trash can next to their name. Hit that, and when your second order goes to run, we're going to credit you back the funds that you didn't use since we're not mailing the total amount that we assigned in the first place. Now, let's head back to our lead pipes dashboard so that we can take those 21 leads and append the most relevant phone number. Again, giving you the ability to contact them either via an outbound SMS text campaign or a cold calling campaign. 1 second, let's hop back over there. We're going to go over to our marketing, and this time we're going to go over to lead pipes and property leads. So I just had a question come through, and it was great because it was asking whether or not we saved those leads. So yes, those 21 will already be there for us to go right back into. So I'm going to go ahead and put the same zip code that I entered and hop back in. You'll see those leads are still there. So there are our 21 leads. Again, we can add to them, we can remove them and start from scratch. Anything you want. We do have the ability to save this 21 as well, so we could save those properties to the system. It's super easy to do. That way, whatever way you prefer to manage your data, we have the ability to do so. So Now that we're back on our screen, again, once we get into the My Leads section, this is where we're able to take all the action on our leads. So let's go ahead and append that skip trace data. So again, skip tracing is retrieving a phone number for your leads at just 10 cents per lead. Any unmatched leads will be credited back to your account. We have a couple of different options for how we can deliver this to you. We can download them as a CSV to your computer, or we can give you that CSV file while saving a copy to your contacts. Now, one thing to note is just like our direct mail, we give bulk pricing. So it doesn't matter if you're mailing to one person or skip tracing one name or 10,000. You're going to get our best rate because at the end of the day, here at Leadflow, we're all about data, and we want you to use that data as seamlessly as you can. So we want to make it as easy as possible. I'm going to go ahead and download the CSV file and select Next. First, we're going to accept the terms and conditions. See our total, and I did have a credit in place, and I'm going to place that order. Now that that order has been placed, we will receive an email with any of instructions that we need to download our file. I'm going to go ahead and click Done here. We're also going to get a notification up in our notification bar when this skip trace list is done. So it's not here yet. It takes a minute or two, and I'm going to go ahead and check back here in a minute once that's all set. The next thing that we want to dive into is our opt-in forms. So while we're waiting here, I'm going to go ahead and navigate to our opt-in forms section. Again, this is giving you the ability to have leads opt in to your external website and deposit them directly in your Leadflow system. You can pair that up with an autoresponder campaign so you continually contact that person with professionally written email autoresponders, or put them directly in your contacts so you know where they came from and how to respond to them. So let's go back to our Leadflow dashboard. All right, and I do see that my notification bar popped up, so let's take a look and see if that skip trace data is back. And there are our skip traced leads. So it looks like we were able to skip trace 19 of 21. I'm going to go and select that. It's going to download that file for me. And let's go ahead and open it up and show you exactly the data that you're getting. Alrighty. Cool. So we have our first name, last name. We have the address of the people. We have their location. We also have the phone number here. So we like to identify as many numbers as we can that are relevant. So we're not going to give you 100 phone numbers, but we are going to give you enough that maintain relevancy. So we do have landline numbers for this first one. We have mobiles that start working in on the secondary. So we do want to give you enough opportunities to reach out to them. So from here, you can take this data, you can filter it by mobile versus landline. You can utilize a third-party SMS texting tool to send outbound texts, or again, do any cold calling, whether that's just doing it yourself, a handful of them a day or a week. But we want to give you all that data. And I did get a couple questions coming in about whether or not you have the ability to do outbound texting through our tool. As of right now, we do not. We would have to partner with a outbound texting service. The biggest thing to look out for is one that is TCPA compliant. So what that means is it's kind of the Wild West right now with regards to sending outbound text messages, soliciting people's properties. And honestly, there needs to be an emphasis on working with a reputable TCPA compliant company, because many of the lower quality providers are actually blocked by the phone companies themselves before they even get to people's cell phones. So while text message marketing is extremely powerful, response rates are through the roof. In order to do it right, you have to work with the best. So we don't recommend any company in particular, but we do want to make sure that they are, again, TCPA compliant, and that we're going to give you the best deliverability that you can. So that's one thing to look at. Same thing with the cold calling. We have people that utilize a number of services. This question's come over a few times. I've worked with a number of people that have either used themselves, so they're doing a handful of calls a day. Maybe they set aside a morning a week to do cold calls. Some people utilize an internal team, and we also have a number of outsourced options as well. So whatever route you take with this data, we just want to make sure that you have the best possible data to get the best returns. And utilizing the Leadflow data system in your marketing is going to give you smaller audiences, more focused leads with a higher response rate. So that's going to save you both time and a lot of marketing dollars because you're not sending a million direct mail pieces out. You're only targeting those that we know have a high propensity to sell. So again, before we started checking the list of our skip trace data, we were going to hop into our opt-in forms. And again, these are forms that we created for you, giving you the HTML and everything, showing you exactly how to implement it on your website so that people who come to your squeeze page or your website, they can opt in directly to that form. The data is added to your contacts, and you can even communicate with them via autoresponders or emails. So again, this is all about lead generation. So we're going to go into the marketing section and then the opt-in forms. Okay, so as you can see, we have two different options for how you can generate your opt-in form. This first option is going to allow you to style it yourself. This is going to give you that raw HTML code that provides the fields and allows you to implement that on any third-party website and deposit all of those lead data submissions into your account. This is giving you a little bit more free reign with regards to the styling and the format for how you want to display it on your website. If you don't have the ability to do that, we definitely recommend using our styled widget, which is going to give you multiple options for how we lay it out, including the color and the name of the button. But if you do have a webmaster that you work with and you want that additional flexibility, you can go the opt-in form route. I'm going to walk you through both of them. And that was a question that just popped up. I know that we have a few people that have utilized some pretty advanced websites and just want to be able to deposit that information. And this would definitely be a great option for you. And an additional question that I saw that touched on something very similar was, if we use this opt-in form, the raw HTML, are we able to link up the autoresponders? And the answer is yes. So you have all of the functionality with the opt-in form over here that you do with the actual stylized widget. So you're going to be able to sync them up the same way, add your redirects, everything like that. Again, the general opt-in form is just going to give you more flexibility with how it's laid out and how you integrate it with your website. So let's go ahead and just jump into this opt-in form here. You can see that we're pulling in your account ID. That's how we know where to map that data to. The second one, we're just going to choose what type of script we want to apply. Is it a buyer? Is it a seller? So let's go ahead, and we're doing lead generation, so let's go with a seller script. And we can also assign this directly to an autoresponder. So these are the stock ones that come in your account. You may have some additional ones that you've created on your own. If so, you're going to have those populated right here for you as well. So again, we're doing a seller. So I'm going to go with the general networking sellers. And the source of the opt-in. So this is a really great feature if you ever want to utilize tags within the CRM system. You can designate where your source was. So if this is on a particular squeeze page, if this is on your home page, maybe you're doing it in conjunction with a partnership, so it's on somebody else's landing page, you can designate exactly where that comes from. That way, when you go to do direct mail campaigns or anything like that, you can easily filter it through your CRM. So I know that was another question that kept popping up was, is there a way to kind of differentiate these based on the form name? So not by the form name, but by the source is where we would go with that. So the next and final thing we need to do is create our redirect URL. So think of this like your thank you page. So after somebody submits their information, where do we want to take them? This could be a standard generalized thank you page. This could be back to your home page, or even, you know, a product listing page or a property listing page. So you can really do whatever you want here. A lot of people, if they're running paid ad campaigns, will want to drive this to a designated thank you page that fires a lead pixel, so that they know if they're running a Facebook ad or a Twitter ad or a Google ad, that once that lead pixel is fired, that they got a lead from their campaign. Not only is that going to allow you to capture that lead data, but it's also going to feed those pixels back the information on the people that are completing the action that is, you know, desired, which is submitting their information. So for the sake of this demonstration, I'm just going to go back to leadflow.com and I'm going to generate that HTML. So again, it's going to look a little complex if you're not into the code. If you have a webmaster that's handling your website or any third-party company, typically if you're working with a plug-and-play third-party website system, they're going to have the ability for you to just paste a HTML block into the website. So this should go in pretty well. Again, this is the raw HTML, so you're still going to have the ability to do some additional styling and things like that. You'll just have to edit that within the HTML code. So with just that, we can copy that to our clipboard, paste that into a general text document, so it's going to strip any of the formatting out that may cause any errors. You can then send that to the webmaster or put it right into your website. So let's go back to our opt-in forms one more time and go through our stylized widget. All right, I'm going to select this option, and we're giving you a number of different color options so that you can kind of really customize that to your website. So we have a top banner here. Some of them don't. Some of them have full color. There's also some different stylization with regards to the buttons that you can choose from. There's really pretty much anything that you're going to need to make it fit within your website. So we definitely have all of your bases covered. I'm going to go with something simple here. I like that red color of the button there. I think that stands out, so that's really, really nice. And again, you can see that this one's more stylized than that raw code that we have there. So assigned to the autoresponder, just like we did the last time. I'm going to go to the sellers. My redirect, again, that's a thank you. Oh, I had all that HTML there. Put in Leadflow. And we're going to use our seller script. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. And again, source of the opt-in is paid ads. Let's go with that. Same thing, we're going to generate that HTML. But again, this one's going to be stylized, including the colors and the formatting, everything like that. All you have to do, copy that. Then what you're going to want to do, again, is either paste this directly into your website. You can put it on a text edit document, so essentially something on your native computer. Why we like to do that is because the text edit screen allows you to, again, strip out any unnecessary content that may have carried over. Now, we're giving you the raw HTML, but if you're going to put this in an email or something like that, I definitely suggest adding this to a text edit, a blank field there. A good example of this is like if you copy and paste a line from a website onto a Word doc and it copies over the size of the font and the coloring and everything. That's an example of carrying some additional elements besides just the words and the text that you wanted. But if you do the intermediary step of adding it to a text document, it's going to just give you the raw data that we're looking for. So that's really what we want to look at. Trying to see if I had any other questions that I did not generate. Are there any options that we have with stylizing these widgets as opposed to the others? Yeah, there's always that option. I'm not a developer, so I would definitely be going the route of using a stylized widget. I'm sure that if you're fluent with the code, you could make some additional changes. But again, if you're going to go that route, I would just go the full route of using the general HTML. That way you can stylize it, however you want. want. But all of these are also going to be mobile responsive, so they're going to kind of reallocate the layout based on the size of the display, whether that's on, you know, a big screen TV all the way down to a mobile phone. So we do have all of our bases covered there. So again, what we did was we came over to our left-hand navigation. Today we talked through direct mail. We addressed our personally penned options, and we also touched on the ability to do opt-in forms. So again, the direct mail is our standard, most popular way of point and click, multi-touch, multi-month campaigns at your bulk rate pricing. Personally penned is going to give you the option to stylize the envelope so that it looks like somebody hand wrote that as well. And then we talked about our opt-in forms, which gives you the ability to capture information and funnel those people into drip campaigns in your system while using third-party websites. So again, we're not locking you in to any websites within the Leadflow system because, like I like to say, we're all about good data. Data drives good leads. We want to make sure that you have all the abilities to use our data in as many ways possible. So I think I covered most of the questions. Check back later while we touch on a number of other topics throughout the training, going over everything else you need to know to make the most of your Leadflow account. Thank you guys, and have a good one.